Well, this one is the Pioneer magazine for spring 2021. I picked out one small section to share with you from this magazine. There's lots and lots of great sections in this magazine. If you love to redecorate or do tie dye, or her daughter is getting married and they are excited to welcome him to the family, which is a beautiful article. And they talk about in the article about how this oldest daughter of hers would not bring herself to call Marco boyfriend, that they were just friends. But how over time they would poke fun at it and say, well, that's the fiance. And she would say, well, he'll have a new husband come May 1st. And she breaks it to him that he will be husband. So it's kind of neat and unique how they went from just being friends to all of a sudden being husband and wife. So that's unique in itself. I found that interesting and quite entertaining. It's a good story to read. Make sure you check it out for that as well. If you hear paper rattling, it's because I'm going to take a quiz with you in a moment. I love, my grandpa has always planted roses along the side of our house, and he would never buy grandma roses. He would say, why buy them when you can grow them? And it's always been a thing in the summer. So last year it was up to me to keep the rose bushes trimmed up. And it says, coming up roses, getting started now, and your yard can be full of gorgeous flowers by summer. Is there any more classic and beloved than a rose? Ree started growing her own roses after marrying Lad, and for her, they symbolize both wildness and refinement, which is why she included the flower in so many of her pioneer dish patterns. I love how they can grow in neat bushes and behave themselves or crawl up the trellis and take off in different directions. And they're tough, she says, because roses have been cultivated for so long. The first rose gardens appeared in China for about 5,000 years ago. There are now hundreds of varieties, and understanding the difference can be tough. In general, you'll find three groups: old garden roses, which are also known as heirloom or antique roses, which have a strong fragrance and bloom only once per season; wild roses, which are the most always pink and modern hybrid rose, which are sturdy and bloom constantly but often have a lighter fragrance. And here's what you need to know to get your own rose garden growing. Roses 101. Start your rose journey with these planting and care tips. Find the right spot. Roses like a lot of sun, at least 6 hours a day, and well-drained, fertile soil. You want to go easy with watering. Give new plants a daily drink a few weeks until they take root. After that, weekly watering is enough with the most regions with regular rainfall. Protect the roots. Apply a 1 to 2 inch layer of pine bark or pebble mulch around each rose bush until after planting, and refresh it each season. Now you're going to feed the plants monthly. Use a bloom boosting fertilizer to promote your flowers. Pre-treat for disease. Many roses suffer from fungal functions, the black spot or powdery mildew. Apply a fungicidal spray in the spring to prevent problems all summer. Watch for pests. Insects love roses almost as much as people do. So check your roses often, hose off the aphids with a strong stream of water, and handpick beetles off of the plants. Don't be afraid to prune. Cutting the plants back, ideally in the spring, will allow airflow and encourage production of more flowers. Trust me, I did a lot of cutting last spring, so they should be doing pretty good this spring. The knockout rose is the right rose for beginners. The starter rose, which is casual gardeners often think roses require knowledge and a lot of work, but the knockout rose changed all that. It was introduced in 1989 by the amateur breeder William Radler, who figured out how to create a rose that blooms repeatedly. It's resistant pests and diseases, doesn't need any pruning. Ree's a big fan. After some of her rose bushes died and she started growing knockouts instead. They're brilliant and a pretty foolproof way to enter the rose growing world. She said, Amen. The original Knockout is called Rad Res, sported single cherry red and hot pink blooms, but the Knockouts now also come in soft pink, deep red, white, and yellow. There are also double Knockouts, which have twice the petals, and recently introduced petite Knockouts, which is petite for small containers and tight spaces. There's tools for the trade. You want to keep these on hand when you tend to your garden. The gauntlet gloves, which rose prickles, are no joke. Protect your arms with long leather gloves like these. They're sturdier than typical gardening gloves. The Arm Saver gloves are $33 at gardeners.com. The hand pruner. Don't scrimp. You'll use this often to cut back dead flowers in spring pruning. Buy one with a bypass blade, which is the anvil type blades crush the stems. Felco number 6 is $57 at felco.com. The rose cones. Now, you'll need these to place over the cones for your pruned plants in the winter to shelter them from harsh weather. The plant protectors from Consolidated Foam are $4 at the gardenproducts.com store. The rose food. Look for a top quality organic fertilizer high in phosphorus but low in nitrogen to help your plant make lots of flowers. The rose tone are $8 at efsama.com for stores. Now there's a pop quiz, and I want to take this with you. How well do you know your famous flower? A yellow rose, number your paper 1 to 5, and it's going to be multiple choice. The first question, a yellow rose symbolizes A, love, B, innocence, or C, friendship. I'll write down my answer, you write down yours. Number 2. What is a rose hip? Is it A, the petal, B, the fruit that grows on a rose bush, C, a cluster of 3 or more blooms? I'll write my answer, you write yours. And 3. Many people call the sharp protrusions that grow on the rose stems thorns, quote unquote, but that's incorrect. What are they actually called? A, prickles, B, spines, or C, burrs? Again, A, prickles, B, spines, or C, burrs. Okay. 4th question. How long is a long stem rose? A, about 1 foot, B, about 2 feet, or C, about 3 feet? Again, A, about 1 foot, B, about 2 feet, C, about 3 feet. Okay, so 5. Final question, y'all. Then we're going to do our answers. How many pounds of petals does it take to make 1 ounce of rose oil perfume? A, 5, B, 95, or C, 250? A, 5, B, 95, or C, 250? Okay, the answers, a yellow rose symbolizes, was it A, love, B, innocence, or C, friendship? If you said 1, C, that is correct, friendship. What is the rose hip? Is it A, petal, B, the fruit that grows on a rose bush, C, a cluster of 3 or more blooms? If you said 2B, the fruit that grows on a rose bush, you would be correct. So far, I'm doing pretty good. Number 3. Many people call the sharp protrusions that grow on the rose stems, quote unquote, thorns, but that's incorrect. What are they actually called? A, prickles, B, spines, or C, spurs? If you said 3A, prickles, you are correct. Yay! 4. How long is a long stem rose? A, about 1 foot, B, about 2 feet, or C, about 3 feet? If you said B on 4, which is about 2 feet, you are correct. And the last question. How many pounds of petals does it take to make 1 ounce of rose oil perfume? A, which is 5, B, 95, or C, 250? If you said C250, you are correct. So that's pretty interesting, right? Oh goodness, they show these beautiful flowers and I wish I could show them to you. This stupid computer is acting up again though. They have the Oklahoma, which is the intensely fragrant hybrid of a tea rose that was bred in 1960 by the Oklahoma State University grad and its state official flower. It blooms in the summer and does its best in warm temperatures. The Rose Balada, which is also known as the smooth wild rose and this no-nonsense North American native produce, lots of pink flowers throughout the summer months, and it's fragrant, blossom, and followed by red fruits that attract birds. The Lark Ascending, which is loves as an apricot-colored rose. It's lightly scented, an option, and it double blooms. The open upward on a 4 to 5 foot shrub. It starts flowering in the spring and repeat in the fall. The New Dawn. It's the World Convention of the Rose Society once voted this fresh-smelling modern rose the most popular rose in the world. It's a vigorous climber and it can reach 15 feet and looks great trained up a wall or fence or arbor. The Charles Darwin. The yellow blooms on the plant and some of the largest you can find on the English rose. It grows on a bushy 4-foot shrub, so plant it in the front of a border or maximum impact. It'll do well even in part sun. It's kind of a yellowish rose. Moon Dance. It's a glossy green leaves and tall clusters with striky creamy white blooms, and it gives a modern hybrid rose an elegant look. Even better, it grows trouble-free shrubs and smells like raspberries. The Ishaphon. It's a type of damask rose and an old garden rose famous for being used in perfume. It features fragrant, fluffy pink blooms and it appears mostly in the summer with a slight repeat in the fall. The Blanche Double de Coubert. Its fragrant shrub rose is a perfect choice if you don't want to worry about pruning. Let it grow big. Once the flowers fade, red rose hips provide the extra seasonal color. The Blush Noisette. This soft pink, mildly fragrant rose blooms on a thornless shrub, so it's great if you have kids or if you're accident prone. It does best in climates with mild winters and hot summers. The Altissimo, which means very high, an apt name for vigorous climbing rose, which can scale a 12-foot wall or blanket a large arbor. The deep red flowers will repeat throughout the season. The Mother of Pearl, a peachy pink with a light perfume. Its flowers a Grandiflora rose, a type of modern hybrid known for its showy blooms. It's wintry, hardy, resistant to black spot, so it's super low maintenance. And the Flower Carpet. If you're looking for a low-growing rose that covers a lot of ground, try this option. Flower carpets are famous for being fuss-free. They come in nearly every color. They bloom repeatedly until the frost. Okay. And there's lots of interesting recipes in this book. So you want to be sure if you are an avid an avid cook. There's even a way to do your Easter dinner in here. So that's something interesting. I like the advertisement that's always in this book for reading. It's Down Home Reads with Jody Thomas. Dear readers, my theme for spring this year is hope. We all have been through a lot recently, and seeing green leaves on the trees and flowers blooming feels extra special this year. Spring by the nature celebrates life and new beginnings as once again the nature world will wake up from its long slumber and begin to rejoice and grow toward the sun. Nothing is more hopeful than a fresh start, which is why I always gravitate toward books where the characters strive despite adversity and emerge with hope in their hearts and a bright future ahead of them. So curl up this spring with the extraordinary characters who grow to overcome the odds, from a frontier Montana to the back streets of historical London, to a cozy ranch in Wyoming, to Iraq during Saddam Hussein's regime, to West Virginia and beyond in the aftermath of an unthinkable disaster. Be sure to head on over to downhomereads.com too for more bookish fun, and look for my next round of recommendation in the magazine summer issue, for Down Home Reads are on their way, so don't go far, y'all. Happy reading, Jody Thomas. And she's recommended some very interesting books. The 5 books she's picked is Calder, Calder, Brand by Janet Daly, from the Calder Brand series. It says Janet Daly's iconic Calder saga is synonymous with everything we love to come in her novels: romance, adventure, epic, mystique of the Old West. She invites us on a new journey with the installment of Calder series spin-off beginning in the late 1800s. A cowboy named Joe Dollarhide who joins the Calders on the first cattle drivers from Texas to Montana. And another one that sounds interesting to me. Well, that looks like the only one that sounds interesting to me. And the other ones just don't seem that interesting. Sorry, but they don't. They have a beautiful snapshot from a ranch. And it says that they have more than 120 miles of fence surrounding the Drummond Ranch. We believe when I say that there's always a spot in need of repair. I even caused some damage with my car once. Sorry, lad. Fixing the fence is a constant need, and a cowboy or rancher can never really relax. We can't have cows wandering all over the place here. Cowboy Josh is mending a fence with a tool called a splicer, which pulls two ends of a broken wire together so they can be spliced with another piece of wire. A good rancher takes good care of his fences, and it's true, literally and figuratively, from Marie Drummond. And he is quite the hunk, just saying. And that's all the pages I'm sharing with you, but you want to be sure to check up the Pioneer Woman magazine, the spring edition. There's so much in there, and it's very late at night, so I apologize, but that's all I'm covering tonight. I hope that you are finding interest in all of this, that you took the quiz and you had some fun with me tonight. Love you all. God bless. Stay safe. Stay well. Till tomorrow.